You are welcome back to African Colonization TV and Biafran History. In our today broadcast, in fact, this issue of Sharia in Nigeria, the North, I don't know what they are looking for. Already, they have now come out, start claiming that they are ready to divide the country. In fact, in this news, they are they talk a lot of things, and I would like you to watch the video to the end. Don't skip any part of it, because these people really, the Islamic people, I don't know what they are looking for. And it being that it is not that US sends Raymond to come to Nigeria to investigate and they see what is happening in Nigeria. I don't know how these people would have turned this country into. According to the headline, it says division threats in Nigeria as northern states reject US call to end Sharia. Division threats. They are now threatening the country, and they're also threatening Donald Trump that he cannot remove Sharia. Instead of them to remove Sharia, they are ready to divide the country. They are ready to divide the country. Well, it would be very nice if they divide the country, because it had been something people have been talking about, and you cannot impose your law on other people's rights, claiming that you have the right. Claiming that you have the right to impose your law on other people, because the way you have your own religion, so other people have their own religion. You do your own religion, so let others do their own religion. You cannot come out and be imposing your Sharia on other people. And you claim that Nigeria is a secular state. If Nigeria is a secular state, meaning that we don't need to have anything Sharia or anything Christian religion. Because if you go to Constitution of Nigeria did not have any place where there is Christianity religious law. It is only Islamic religious law we have in the Constitution. But and that same Islamic law constitution, Islamic constitution law, it is something that is okay for the people that is developing the states. The Nigerian Federation would have accepted, but this one, it is in destroying everybody, buying people everywhere, and in the name of you are doing Sharia. So I would like you to watch the video to the end for you to see by yourself, and for you to see what is really happening in Nigeria and what the Northern group, the Northern leaders, what they are saying in this video. So as about to watch, like, subscribe, and make sure you share it to go around, let others see what is really going on in Nigeria.
Therefore, on behalf of all the 40 Islamic organizations that form the Zamfara State Muslims League, we hereby state the following. 1. We in Zamfara State are more than 99% Muslims. We were the first to implement the Sharia system in 1999. We want all and sundry to know that we are comfortable with the system and we will never allow it to be tampered with. 2. The request of Dr. Obadere is not based on any expertise, but on biasness and Islamophobia. 3. The US has no business meddling in the international affairs of our country, or act as a custodian of a certain religion, or start a new crusade against Islam, with Nigeria as its first victim. 4. We emphatically affirm that Muslims in Nigeria will not stand by and look while a foreign power dismantles the Sharia system just to make some anti-Islamic Christians happy. We know that America has been sponsoring Zionist terrorism in Palestine and the genocide of Muslims. We are also ready to pay the price the Palestinians are paying if America should decide to come to Nigeria to dismantle Sharia. 5. We are calling on President Bola Tinubu to treat carefully. He should remember that he rose to power on the goodwill of Sharia-loving Muslim population of this country. 6. We also call on Muslim representatives in the Senate and the House of Representatives never to allow themselves to be used for the achievement of critical objectives detrimental to the interests of those they represent. 7. We call on our governors and members of the respective houses of assemblies not to relent or give in on this matter. They must stand firm and ensure our freedoms in a sovereign Nigeria. We are also using this medium to appeal to our northern governors, especially the Sharia compliant states, to intensify efforts in protecting, safeguarding, and promoting the Sharia legal system in their respective states. 8. It is time for our traditional rulers to stand up and talk. The labor of our leaders past shall never be in vain. 9. Our ulama and imams must stand up and talk. Imams must convey our message of resistance on all pulpits. Sharia implementation is our religious right, which we are entitled to. We will never accept intervention on how to practice our religion from any quarter. 10. Finally, we call on all Muslims in Nigeria to be ready to defend our religion and the Sharia system, whatever it takes.
Now, that was the position of the 40 Islamic organizations that made up the Muslim League in Zamfara State, that constituted the Zamfara State Muslim League. That was their position on American demand that the federal government of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should ensure the repeal of the Sharia law and blasphemy laws in Nigeria. Now, why was that decision taken by the Americans? The Americans believe strongly that the root cause of insecurity in Nigeria is the Sharia law and the blasphemy law. That if it's removed or repealed in the 12 northern states that are practicing it, it will go a long way in reducing insecurity in the country. And if you look at it critically, all those states that are practicing Sharia, over 90% of those states are at the epicenter of the ongoing insecurity in Nigeria. So the Americans are saying repeal that law. But the league, the Muslim League in Zamfara State, who are also standing on the ground that Sharia's implementation, Sharia laws implementation or adoption started from Zamfara State. Okay, they are speaking on behalf of all the other Muslims, being the first state to carry out that implementation of Sharia law. Now, that their position has been strengthened now by the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, when they came out saying that there is no power that can stop the implementation of Sharia in Nigeria. And their position is the same, in line with the position of the Zamfara Muslim League. Okay, but we are going to show you what the Middle Belt has also identified and agreed with the Americans, that the introduction of the Sharia legal system is at the root of insecurity in the North. And they have even gone to say that if the Muslims who want to implement Sharia insist on going ahead with it and want to impose it on non-Muslims, because Middle Belt Forum is saying that already they are imposing it on non-Muslims. So if they cannot agree to abandon it and use the penal code as was in the constitution during the time of Samad Bello, the premier of Eastern region, that it is better they part ways. That is his view. You are going to hear him analyze this matter. Okay, but before we get to the video clip where he will talk, and you will learn a lot from him on this issue, let us look at the position of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, who are doubling down, saying that no power can stop Muslims from practicing Sharia, reminding the American lawmakers that they will not bow to their pressure. You know that the American lawmakers have submitted a report to President Donald Trump on Christian persecution, Christian genocide in Nigeria, and one of their recommendations was for the repeal of the Sharia law and blasphemy laws in Nigeria. Okay, and that was also contained in the bill, the Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act 2026. That same demand was contained in that bill right now in the United States Congress. So there is a bill in the United States Congress demanding the repeal of Sharia. There is a recommendation at the White House which has been submitted to President Donald Trump that Nigeria must repeal the Sharia legal system, Sharia law, and the blasphemy law. If the insecurity in Nigeria could be nipped in the bud, that would be part of the things that Nigeria must do. It's like the bucket list. It's part of the bucket list that has been recommended by the US Congress for President Trump to push for in order to stop Christian genocide and Christian persecution in Nigeria. Now, the Supreme Council for Sharia has come out following the report that was submitted to President Trump recommending the repeal of the Sharia law. They have come out to say that no power or authority can make Muslims relinquish the practice of Sharia. The Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, nephew Bola Ahmed, he said this in response to the report that the United States Congress Committee submitted to President Donald Trump. And that went on to say that the report had highlighted Sharia and blasphemy laws as major problems. Now, part of the recommendation which we talk about included repealing Sharia and blasphemy laws, establishing a US-Nigeria security pact, and imposing penalties or visa ban on perpetrators. Okay? According to the United States lawmakers, blasphemy laws in Nigeria's northern states are used to silence speech and dissent, target Christians and minorities, and justify so-called convictions without due process. But the Supreme Council for Sharia say for clarity, Sharia constitutes a comprehensive way of life for Muslims, encompassing spiritual, moral, social, and legal dimensions. It is the divinely ordained framework through which Muslims regulate their personal and communal affairs. The statement noted that the practice of Sharia in Nigeria is guaranteed by the Constitution, which upholds freedom of religion and permits adherents to conduct personal matters in accordance with their faith. The Council therefore rejects any external interference in Nigeria's internal affairs. Nigeria is a sovereign, multi-religious nation, they said, with a plural legal system and complex security challenges. Simplistic and bias-driven narratives imported from abroad do not advance peace or justice. Rather, they risk inflaming tensions, deepening mistrust, and undermining peaceful existence. We also reject the propagation of the false Christian genocide narrative. The claim misrepresent Nigeria's security crisis and detracts from the truth. The violence confronting the nation stems from terrorism, banditry, organized criminality, and governance deficits. The government appears either indifferent or incapable of resolving the security problem, which has claimed the lives of Muslims and Christians alike. Okay, so that's their position. That is their position, that it cannot be changed. This is a divine law. Okay, they say that this is a divine law that cannot be changed. So, being a divine law, who is America to tell them not to practice their way of life? They say that what we are having in Nigeria is terrorism, banditry, that it is not genocide. Interestingly, perhaps they have not read the definition of genocide. A terrorist can carry out genocidal program, because when you look at the definition of genocide, it is to eliminate a people. Intention to eliminate and take over. Already those who are alleging Christian genocide, there are documented evidence that people are being driven from their, after they are being killed, they are chased away from their communities. They are being erased from their communities. So if that does not constitute genocide, I don't know what they are talking about. But that being notwithstanding, the president of Middle Belt Forum, Dr. Bitrus Pogu, has waded into the matter, and he has said that he agreed with the Americans that it was the introduction of the Sharia laws in northern Nigeria and its inclusion in Nigerian constitution that is at the root of the insecurity in Nigeria, and that is the situation, that before the introduction of Sharia law in Nigeria, and in northern Nigeria in particular, they had the penal code, which encompasses the personal Sharia that they are talking about. Whenever they talk about this, they say it's only concerned Muslims. Okay, personal law. But this man said, look, that was not what was being practiced during the time of the Sarwana of Sokoto as the premier of northern region. That what you have now is a full-blown Sharia law that was introduced, and that it is at the root of the insecurity in northern Nigeria. Watch.
Let's leave that. Maybe we'll come back to it. You've been a very outspoken critic of the insecurity. Most Nigerians are anyway. The insecurity that is ravaging the entire country, but particularly Middle Belt, Southern Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, mass killings, horrendous killings. You've condemned it. So, in your view, sir, what do you see? Is it that the federal government is overwhelmed, or is it a lack of political will? Because this issue has refused to abate.
Thank you very much. The people who are sponsoring insurgency in Nigeria didn't just wake up and then became insurgents or started to sponsor insurgency. It started and grew till when we got Sharia into our constitution. According to Sharia, Muslims will have to be the lords. You will have to submit. I will have to submit. Muslims who don't believe in that violence have to submit. There are rules. So since Sharia came in, insurgency in real time came in because they have the right under Sharia to convert the unbeliever.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Pardon me. The aspect of Sharia the Constitution allows, if correct me if I'm wrong, it is in the cases of inheritance, marriage, marital issues, disputes.
Those were the penal court thing which Sardauna had.
Yes.
The Sharia today.
Yes.
Why was Leah Sharibu taken out of so many girls? Hold on. Why was the lady in Sokoto stoned to death? It's Sharia. So there are so many things that have happened which we can refer to, which are Sharia compliant issues. Many things have happened. Why do we have a parallel police in Kano? It is because of Sharia. So, if you are in Kano, if you are an Igbo man or whoever and you want to trade your beer, you go and smash it. If you are lucky to go away alive. That is Sharia. So, sir, anybody who deceives you and said the penal code which we had, which the Sardauna accepted as a means of accommodating the Middle Belters then because of the Willings Commission requirement, is not what we have today. What we have today, adopted by the 12 local government, states in the north, is the true Sharia. And where they want and when they want to implement, they implement. Even states that are not as aggressive. Not long ago, was it about 2 years ago, my governor in Borno went to and said any hotel that they think was a brothel, quote unquote, how do you qualify a place? They smashed it and destroyed such plots. Churches are not allowed spaces in some areas. So what is that? Yes. So what is that? It is Sharia. So you see, we pretend. That is the problem with this country. We pretend to be running a secular system in the north. It is no more that way. And this insurgency would not be there without Sharia. When we had the penal code, there was no such insurgency. There was no such aggression. There would not be somebody coming with a gun and say, Allahu Akbar, and attack others. It wasn't there. Under the penal code, it wasn't there. Under Sharia, it's there. And we cannot deny that. It is for the others to wake up and say, look, if you want to practice this, you have the right based on your religion, but you can't impose it on us. Let's think of a way of coexisting with this. And what is happening, or what is going to happen next? These people will say, let's part ways.
That was the president of Middle Belt Forum, Dr. Bitrus Pogo, intervening on this vexed issue of Sharia law being linked to violence and insecurity in northern Nigeria. And Dr. Pogo is insisting that what is being practiced in the north today is a full-blown Sharia, different from what was obtainable during the old northern region. And he said in that video you watch that if these people are insisting, as they are insisting in the video you watch earlier on, and then in the statement by the Sharia Council, the video we watched earlier on was the position of the Muslim League, made up of 40 organizations in Zamfara State, the state that is the originator of the Sharia law as we know it today, which Dr. Pogo is telling us is different from the Sharia that was in the penal code during the time of Sir Ahmadu Bello as the premier of Northern Region. So you can see that those who are practicing the Sharia are not ready to shift ground. They are not ready to shift ground. They have told the Americans in no uncertain terms that they are not going to accept anything less than what they have right now. So they are not ready for the repeal of the Sharia law. And they have also warned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that he better know that the mandate he has was given to him by these same Sharia loving states. So what's the solution? What is the solution? Is it to go back to the Sharia as being practiced during the time of Sir Ahmadu Bello, as Dr. Pogo seemed to suggest, that during that period there were no killings, no violence as we know it today, no insurgency? Or do we stick with what we have now, in which Dr. Pogo say, if that becomes the case, then let us part ways. Let us part ways. That's what he was suggesting. And you and I know that the reason why the United States government didn't suggest or recommend parting ways in the last recommendation they made to President Donald Trump as a solution to the killings of Christians in Nigeria was because they believe that it will hurt the northern Christians more. It will increase their problem more. So what do you have to say when somebody like Dr. Pogo, he said, well, if they are insisting on their own position that Sharia must stay, then they also have the right to say, okay, you have a right to practice your religion, we have a right to say, let's part ways. That's what Dr. Pogo is saying. What is your position? Where will all this back and forth between those who want Sharia and those who want it repeal, where will it eventually lead to? Whatever is your position on this vast issue, whatever is your suggestion, let's hear from you at the comment section.
Yes, we have come back again. In fact, in the whole thing, we see that they will say mata pass Gary, water don't pass Gary. This video need Rary Moore that used to claim that when he came to Nigeria, that he claimed that he did not suggest of Nigeria to part with that Nigerian division. Thank God it is coming from the north and also from the middle belt. Those that are Christians in the middle belt, those that are not with the co-north that is practicing Sharia. Thank God it's coming from them. And where he went to is the middle belt, that is the Benue, that this buying of people, destroying of life and property, it is worse in the middle belt. So the same people now, they are now coming out to start saying that if the North did not accept to drop the Sharia, so let them part ways, so let them divide. That is what it means. So thank God that everybody is now seeing what is really going on in the country. And you cannot tell me that the situation of Nigeria, the system where we are, the way we are today in Nigeria, that everybody is benefiting. Nobody. Apart from those who believe that God have given them mandate to destroy people, to take away towns and villages, that it is their right. Apart from them. And then the worst part of it is that the people who make this country to become one, who build it or who create this country, they will be there looking at Nigeria and they're looking how people is been suffering, death everywhere, and they are not even saying anything. Instead of it, they will tell you that they support the unity of Nigeria, that Nigerian unity is sacrosanct. If truly that the law that the one Ahmadu Bello Sultana of Sokoto, those days, the law that they used those days when Nigeria was amalgamated, it is not the kind of law that they are using today. Then why are we still discussing of unity of the country? Because when they use those law, they use it well, and during those days when they were practicing true federalism system of government, but now it is no more true federal system of government. So I don't know why the people who call themselves senator, governors, house of rep, they have not one day sit down and start discuss about it. What will be the next forward? What will be the way out of those things? What we used to hear is that Nigeria is indivisible. Nigeria is unnegotiable. Somebody that is drowning, you have a ship, and you see that your ship is drowning inside a river. In fact, and you are claiming that you will not look away to amend it, a way to walk your ship so that let it not drown inside the river, and you'll be there screaming that you will not walk it, meaning that you want your ship to sink and nobody will help you. That is what is happening in Nigeria as for today. The way the country is, the people that is governing the country, they are saying that the country is already a failed state. For them to look a way out, they are not looking a way out of it. Then they are there screaming and shouting, telling you that Nigeria is okay, when they know that Nigeria is not okay. Is it not Tinubu, when he was coming into power, he claimed that if Nigeria lost power for any day, if Nigeria lost power, lost electricity for any day, that in fact they should chase him out of power. That if he come back to campaign for anything 2027, that nobody should vote for him. But today, the national grid of Nigeria, the power holding of Nigeria, the whole country is now lacking of light. Collapse, no light, nothing. His own government is even worse than others. So what are they going to tell the people that is coming? Or what are they going to say? That we should still believe, or we should still believe that Nigeria will still work. Who will work it? Is it this Obi that is coming that will work it? Or is it Atiku that will work it? Oh, but the way they used to govern the country is not working. The constitution is not working. And the constitution they used to govern is Islamic constitution, that is Sharia constitution. And the co-nut, they are saying that they can never remove the Sharia. Instead of it to remove Sharia, they will even be adding more of their Sharia doctrine into the constitution. Then what are we still waiting for, if not to part away? Well, I would like to hear your comment down below. What do you think about the whole thing happening in Nigeria? Like, subscribe, and make sure you share it to go around. Let others see what is really happening in the country. We say thank you for watching.